No disrespect, but that's how I am.
I think it was Jim Aker introduced me to him here in Fort Worth like 40 years ago. And he didn't work with me right away, but I ran into him up in Woodstock where he was hanging out with Levon Helm and the band. And
oh, yeah.
Getting his chops down. And he played me some stuff that night after the show we were doing. And Billy Swan, who was in my band, had just told me he was quitting, so I hired Stephen, and Stephen went on the road with me. And I told him he'd have all summer to learn all the songs, but Billy quit the next day and went home. But Stephen never did. He went off for a while with Delbert and Glenn.
Right.
And but he for about 30 years we were around each other enough to get sick of each other if we didn't like each other so much.
Was he one of the best guitar players ever?
For me, he was the best because he could read my mind, and he knew what the music needed just by he had the feel for all the songs better than anybody. Don Was just told me, he says, you'll never play with a guitar player that better suits your material, and I know that. And he was also the funniest human being in the world.
Good writer, too.
Great writer, and he got better. And his last thing, what is it called, the 12 or something?
Right, 12.
Is it's awesome, and it's real sad that he's not here with us now, because I've sort of measured my life by the way Stephen reacted to it, just by the different places we got in trouble in Russia, and he got in trouble in Russia.
Easy going Steve Brutton in trouble in Russia?
Well, he had kind of I didn't find this out till later, but he and his woman at the time had a falling out, and they canceled a concert we were having in Moscow for some Russian reason. I don't know what it was, but some people told us.
Cold War, I think. But
yeah, could have
been.
But they told us about this place downtown, a street where the street musicians played, and we got drunk enough to decide that's where we were going to go and do our concert. And we went and started playing, and I can still see, pretty soon the crowd was getting so, they had us backed up against a building, and all of a sudden these big police came through wielding these billy clubs, and I still can see Stephen right in the face of one of those policemen that could have killed him, playing his mandolin right in his face. I'd never seen a mandolin used as an attack weapon, but he did it. And
pretty good vodka.
Yeah,
must have been.
But I forgave him because I found out that he had a heartbreak. So
that's understandable then.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you met Sumter now. That's a character. His brother.
Sumter. And his father was great too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And his mother, I guess, is giving the award tonight.
Yeah, give him the award.
But Stephen was like my brother, my little brother. He was the baby of the group, and it's kind of hard to believe that we be lasting longer than he did.
Yeah, he was a youngster.
Yes, sir. Always till the end.
Did he have a favorite song of yours he enjoyed playing?
I don't know. We wrote some together, and I don't even know which one of those would be his favorite. he was so good. He's playing on my last album there, and he just has a feel. Probably because I yelled at him so much during those 30 or 40 years out there that he knew exactly what I wanted, and he knew what the song needed. And he just, I don't know if he ever had a favorite of them.
Do you have a favorite that you wrote? Yeah,
my song?
of your song.
No more than my children. You know,
Right.
it's, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Bobby McGee, because it made the biggest difference in my life.
Now, how did Janis Joplin come to sing that song?
Bobby Newirth taught it to her. Bobby Newirth was Dylan's roadie and songwriter, and I don't know if you ever saw that Dylan movie that was like a documentary back in those days. I don't know if it was Don't Look Back or...
Yeah.
He was in that a lot, but Bobby taught Janis the song. In fact, he taught her some wrong words, and he later introduced me to Janis. But he.
So y'all dated, didn't you?
Yeah, we were together there for a couple of months, and then I started going on the road myself, and she was going off in a different direction. She was trying to get Bobby and me to go. There was a train tour that the band was making at the time, and she was on it.
Was there a real Bobby McGee?
Well, there was a real one, but not the one that I'm singing about there. Fred Foster had, down below his office, there was Boodle O'Brien, you know, the songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
And his secretary was named Bobby McKee. And so Fred called me up one night when I was about to go back down to the Gulf of Mexico, where I was working for petroleum helicopters, and I'd be 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks back here. And he said, "I got a title for you. It's me and Bobby McKee." I thought he said McGee.
McGee.
And he said, "Here's the hook. Bobby McGee is a she." And I thought, oh God, I don't even co-write with people, but I had no idea how I could write that. And he told me a couple ideas, like be traveling around, you know. So I hid from him for a couple of months, and it came to me, finally.
Your songs come to the good ones. Do you write them in a hurry, or some take years?
Same, both. Some come pretty fast. I don't usually write on assignment like that. I'm usually just carrying it around in my head and letting it work the tough edges off, you know, and I don't write as much as I used to, or as much as I should. I'm kind of lazy about it these days, but I'll probably be writing until they throw dirt on me.
Hey, you brought up helicopters, man. I want to clear up this story.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Did it happen? Did you take the helicopter and land in Johnny Cash's
It was
backyard?
a National Guard helicopter, and I already knew John because I'd been his janitor at Columbia there for almost 2 years, and I'd pitched him every song I ever wrote, but I'd never pitched it to him in a helicopter. So I had to fly 4 hours a month for the National Guard, and I decided I'd drop in on John and pitch him a song. So I did. And the rest of the story that comes out from John's version is kind of creative. He had a very creative imagination, but because he said I got out of the helicopter with a beer in one hand and
Tape in
tape in the other. It takes both hands, both feet to fly the helicopter. I would never carry a beer in a helicopter.
Yeah, I wonder, did you get back in the helicopter? That's what I was.
Well, I did, and also John wasn't there.
Well, doggone it.
His groundskeeper there came up and took the tape for me. But if that was John's story, and Joan could make up a story too, and she, I think, acted like she was there too. But they did me so much good, and he was such an inspiration to me. Still is, that I would never contradict him while he was around to be embarrassed about it.
Did you enjoy making that album with them, Waylon and Willie and Highwayman?
Oh,
that may be the greatest song ever.
Imagine though.
Yeah.
Each one of those guys was my hero, and I got to stand up there on the stage with John every night, right next to him, and sing harmony with him when he didn't even want me to. You know, it was. It's one of the blessings of my life, I think, that I got to be so close friends with so many of my heroes, real heroes, like Muhammad Ali and John and Roger Miller and Willie and Waylon and I mean, really close friends. I never take that for granted.